my screen, I can see the side of my head in your computer.
Yeah, they look different on different screens.
No. That's not what I meant. But it doesn't matter. Basically, when I turn my head, this part of my hair looks funny.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
I don't think it looks funny.
Really? I finished wrapping all of Lily's presents today. I can tell you guys what they are if you want.
No, because I'm here.
Well done. I especially this far out. Oh yes. Oh, actually, hang on. Are these presents to
Lily
be taken with you on your journey? Or
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah. What have we?
I don't know. I think we'll have to discuss it because I don't know. Maybe we could do half. I don't know.
Right. I was about to suggest that.
Yeah.
That's evening.
Okay. You're. That was weird. There was like.
The mic is having a little bit of issues, but
it's fine. It doesn't matter. Guess why? Because I love you all very much. I'm gonna miss you when we can't play D&D over Christmas. Right. Who would like to do a little recap of whatever happened last session?
I can do it.
You can do it. Let's go.
I mean, it was. Oh, has the button been hit?
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. Last session was almost entirely a fight. So we were fighting what we thought was one hag, turned out to be two hags. One of the hags tried to talk to us, but we were like, nah, fam, and hit it with a lot of attacks. Except Sarazur, who kept missing and earned the name Miss Sarazur, which I thought was really funny, and I wrote it down. Essentially, the hag that tried to talk to us gave up on talking to us and uprooted the house and started running away. So we bamfed out of there. And left behind was the original hag, who was involved with child trafficking, sisterhood, we don't like her. And she was hooked up to a child from whom she was apparently drawing what looked like life force. So we saved the child, and the hag was killed. Ulster healed the child using a spell that Sarazur disapproved of, Wither and Bloom. But we talked about it and we just figured out that we have different approaches to life. And left it there for now. We left the area with all the survivors. We got quite a few, which was good. Went back to the Dehane estate and kind of settled everyone in. Nakia is fine against all odds. And the area seems to be cured. So I would say a successful mission, personally. Went to sleep, and Bluey and Sarazur woke up early to spar together.
Indeed.
Not spar as in the SPA, but spar as in swords sparring.
And don't forget, you guys all had conversations with Sarazur.
Yes.
Ulster's being a critique of his self-sacrificial nature. Sleer's being a nod of admiration, but a cautious warning against wearing your emotions on your sleeve. And for Bluey, the beginnings of a lesson in a little bit of combat.
And also made a swing on the front area.
Most important.
Yeah.
Also made a
swing. It's still there.
Indeed. And am I wrong, or was Sleer knitting last session? Or something, doing something crafty at the end?
Sleer was reading, but was probably knitting while reading.
That's so cool. The book is hovering. Okay, so you guys have taken the benefits. Yes.
No, that's exactly what I was going to ask you.
Oh, Anna. It's real bad. Give me a moment. Hang on, let me see what I can do. Not region automatic, region Rotterdam. Genuinely, that's the only way I can get. 1 2 1 2. I'm big poo poo. Oh no, she's gone. We lost her. Ready? 1 2 1 2. I'm a big poo poo.
I'll get my phone.
Oh, it's worse.
It's worse.
It's worse. Jesus
I'll
Christ.
be back. I'm sorry.
For myself, does that change it for everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really annoying because Discord is like made to make international calls. So why does it have these kind of issues?
I think that since we were all having the issue, that it might have been Anna's internet.
Right. Once, I think I used Skype once.
I used to use it in my undergrad days
For
to communicate
D&D.
with my supervisor.
Skype?
Mhm.
I bet that's gone bust now.
I don't
Been
think
bought
so.
by Zoom.
I'm surprised that people didn't use Skype. I guess Zoom had more of like a professional interface.
Mm.
But no, I use Skype a lot.
Now?
I used Skype a lot back in the day. Got a lot of random singing today.
Yeah. Just waiting for Anna. Okay. So, you guys can all take the benefits of a long rest. Also, I assume you are sleeping beside Loran.
Oh yeah, Allstar would have packed himself in beside Loran and given him a rundown of the day and all of his thoughts and feelings on what happened.
For sure. Now, obviously, the unmeddling of his mind has begun, and
Doesn't matter. Allstar just talks for hours.
yeah, he doesn't have much to say back, but he looks at the very least peaceful. That is something you can take away from this.
I would also like to braid his hair.
You can do that. Keep it from being messy when he sleeps.
Yeah.
You turn him over so he doesn't get bed sores and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And Sparks, you go through target after target as you practice with Sarazur, honing your skills, and you notice kind of as he's sort of like pulling back and hitting down with the sword. It's obviously a training sword, but sort of at the side of the field, he has a sort of like a few different swords, about 3. That have been wrapped in like cloth and obviously have the scabbards obviously protecting them. But he clearly intends to at some point practice with a real sword, otherwise he wouldn't have brought them here. A sharp blade, sorry, not a real sword, a sharpened sword. Make me a quick investigation check.
16.
16. So you notice a couple of the swords. So 2 out of the 3 seem to have a very familiar kind of like arcane glow. It's an investigation, not an arcana check, but it's something you'd recognize anyway. And seem to be like either magical weapons or weapons with magic imbued in them. One seems to be shorter and one seems to be a much larger sword. You would assume a either long or short sword and a great sword next to each other. It's hard to tell from this distance and with them beside one another. And as you kind of focus on that, like, oh, there's magic swords, you kind of like have to correct your grip and almost miss the target. And Sarazur says, eyes forward.
Can I ask?
Yes.
A bit later in the morning, could I bring them some coffee?
Of course you can. Very quickly, before we get to that though.
Oh, I know how important a flat white in the morning is.
Oh my god. Astra, you, awaken crack of dawn or a little bit later?
Probably like when there's movement in the house.
Okay, what's your passive perception?
17.
17, okay. Then about
Sorry,
16.
mistake.
It's
14. 14.
Not the very... Sorry?
Sorry, passive perception is 14. I was looking at my insight.
9 a.m. 9 a.m. It's not late, but it's not the moment there's movement in the house. You kind of
there should be movement.
Moment there should be movement in the house. You like actually no, even better. You wake up the moment there's movement in the house. It's not worth it. And just pull the covers.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sorry. Makes sense. It makes sense. That's wonderful.
She probably like fell asleep reading out, like knitting in hand, just out in the middle of like the like in one of the like lounge areas.
Okay. Well, you do find a few things as you're kind of like getting up, and maybe you and Allstair bump into each other as Allstair's leaving Loran's room.
Allstair got up early though.
Okay, fair enough. Then Allstair, you look outside your window and you see Allstair walking across the courtyard with like 3 flat whites
Starbucks
in hand, like towards where you can see Bluey and Sarazur training. You leave your room and you walk down the hallway. It's just a guest room that you've been put up in, but it's still very nice. And you pause by Loran's door and you can hear movement inside, but obviously, you know, there's magic afoot there. If you want to go in, you should knock. But Serena gave you permission to go through her bookshelves if you ever wanted to read anything. So in finding your reading materials, there are a couple of things I think you would find.
the Annals of Cossus.
On the ball spawn, no. You find a few various like ledgers and books that you feel like maybe you shouldn't touch. You're like
4th grade diary.
Yeah, Loran's 4th grade. Dear diary, today I cast magic for the first time. It's kind of cute.
I'm the best.
I'm the best ever at magic.
Wow, look at me.
No one will ever be better. Love Loran. He says I love you to his diary.
Yeah, he kind of is the person who would.
I love you.
I love you, diary. Bye.
What was I going to say? And you're like kind of just walking through the house as your stomach and kind of lightly hungry is guiding you to the kitchen. And you stop by one shelf, which has, again, something that sticks out to you on it. Can you make me an investigation check, please?
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's an 18. Also, Astra would not interfere with anything that is overly personal or anything that it didn't.
No. I'm joking.
Mess in and
I know, it's just a joke, don't worry. Just a joke. Astra's like hand like glides over what you know to be Loran's 4th grade diary, and you can only imagine what it says inside. But you do notice, and as you notice this, you recall Zarina saying you could look at anything on the shelves. You do see a tightly rolled scroll, which seems to have like a glitter sort of iridescence to it.
I think that Astra just stares at it for a minute. Sarazur's words before she went to bed kind of ring in her ears, and she's like, gonna ignore that. And she just takes one of the many books that they had looked at previously to like one of the like plant like botany books, and just settles in with more knitting and reading, like overlooking maybe like a patio to watch Sarazur and Bluey.
Sure. Which of Sarazur's words are you thinking of?
To keep herself in check, essentially.
Okay.
Her emotions and by extension curiosity.
Oh, okay. I think you would know he meant like in battle or when fighting. being the way that he kind of was referring to the previous fight. So if you wanted to, and you feel like it's a character choice that she would make, feel free to. Unless you think Sleer would have taken his words differently, that's also okay.
Yeah, this is not my house, this is not my place. I need to do better at setting a good example for those around me.
Okay. You walk through the empty kitchen. It would have been a victimless crime, but I understand, and I understand your commitment to character. So you walk through the kitchen. You see that I think Ulster would have left a coffee for you on the counter.
You left the pot on.
Yeah, he left the pot on for you. And you take a book about botany. Thank you. I only left it in there because the door was closed. Just so you know.
But the window's not open.
Yes, but the door was closed. But what was I going to say? I lost my place.
Your botany book.
Botany book. You go through and you do find the little tabbed area, which has the various mushroom varieties of the local area. And you do, in fact, see this mushroom, which is called Meadows Weep, which is that very same mushroom you saw Ulster and Sarazur munching on. You take a sit down, and you can just read if that's all you wish for. Ulster, you go over to Sarazur and Sparks as they continue their target practice.
I've made Bluey.
Sarazur working up a sweat on his back a bit.
Can I guess? I've made Bluey salted caramel iced latte.
Oh, wow.
And Sarazur.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I feel Sarazur is a fat white kind of guy because he's a bit of a dad, you know?
Yeah.
It's a double shot flat white.
Double shot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also has a milky monstrosity. You don't know if there's coffee in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If Danuelle was there, it would just cream it up with a dip of espresso at the bottom.
You think it might be one of those weird mushroom lattes that people in like the depths of New Zealand drink in like farmers markets? That's what Ulster has.
Whoa.
Made with hemp milk. It's slightly.
Wait, then by that knowledge, what does Sleer have?
Oh, so in the pot, you would find the standard mix for coffee, but on the side is just all of these little syrups and herbs and like crushed things that you can add to it, Sleer. So you can add whatever you'd like to it, but there are some very questionable ingredients on the side.
Oh.
I think Sleer would look at all of that and just kind of go, like, just nod with a little smile and then just drink plain black coffee.
That's fine.
That's fine. Okay. Sarazur, here's your option. Sarazur comes over to you, Sparks, and corrects your hole a few times, but looks impressed at your skill. I mean, you did show off the other day that you had, a lot to offer when it came to battle and fighting.
I make another swing and watch them.
Okay. He hears you approaching Ulster before you have time to sit down.
Oh.
So sadly, as much as I'd love there to be swings all over the place. And he turns around and he sees you on the veranda, Sleer. He sees you with the coffees. And he just says, I'm cursed to have you follow wherever I go, I suppose.
Would you prefer to be left alone?
He looks over at Sparks and... No.
Ulster will give them both their coffees. And
you guys are all close enough to hear each other. There's no distance that's so huge you wouldn't be able to have a conversation, including you, obviously, Sleer. Even though you're probably a little bit further away. You're just, if you want to, you can say whatever you want.
Is the training area indoor or
outdoor? Outdoor. Yeah. Like you guys saw this from your windows. Yeah. There's like a sort of like fence. There's like sand on the bottom here. It's probably for horses, like usually. Sarazur set it up like a training area for now. There's like a couple of trees bending over one side, and the veranda looks over this part. And beyond the sort of training area, there is more woodland, and then rolling hills that just peak up above that. And of course, then the dusk, which rises and falls. It's now dusk full, which means it's lighter.
Cool. Once everyone has been supplied with coffee, I will make myself a swing and just go.
Okay.
I love this. I love salted caramel.
And Sarazur says, I've checked on Nakia, but how is the child?
Didn't we set up the child with Slea to medicine check?
He's asking you guys how the child is. You guys can tell me what you did with the child.
I think we said that. So also stabilize the child, but it would have taken an actual medical person.
This is like, we're not talking about in the fight. We're talking about in the aftermath of the fight.
So also stabilize the child, but then we discussed that the child needed a bit more than just HP. So I think we suggested that an actual medical person look at the child. So either Zarina or
At which point Sarazur just says, my skills obviously aren't arcanically inclined.
Mine are,
that's a word.
Not a medicine person.
Would it have made sense for us to make the arrangement? Like, Bluey can...
Yes, because Zarina is busy.
Also, I would have completely trusted Slea to make the decision on the child. Because he's just not a healer.
Also, if that had been the case, that is going to kind of rewind what I need to do for the morning.
That's fine. Yeah, I was just leaving that in your guys' hands because obviously you're the ones who saved the child. So you tell me what you want to do with them.
Slea probably would have gotten up early and just gone to check in on the child instead.
Okay, let's just so that we can keep everything. Let's say before you went to sleep, you checked in on the child. You wake up this morning, as you did, and maybe a little earlier, and make a brief stop in. So, rewinding, this is happening in flashback. So, wait, Slea, you're sitting there. Saras is like, how was the child? You, flashback. And in TGCF today, there was a flashback scene within a flashback scene, and I was like, whoa.
Definitely out all
Matrix! Well, tell me, what did you do?
Could I have done a medicine check just to see?
You can do anything. This is the Dungeon and the Dragon.
Also, would have imparted that
you summoned a Tarask and said that it's his son.
Also, would have told Astra Slea that he healed the child, but there seemed to be other medical things to take care of.
Slea did do a medicine check, after the healing happened, but I don't think we did anything before last game.
So what I meant was obviously you guys did all the stuff that you did in combat like that, but this is more like the sort of the roleplay side of it. Did you put them up in a bed with the other survivors? Did you ask Nakia to help out, seeing as Nakia's the least injured? I'm just sort of seeing if there's anything you wanted to do in terms of a scene. If not, we can just breeze past it.
So we would have just put the child in a separate room for monitoring.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, well then we don't even need to go back. Back to the moment. Sarazur says where he said, "How is the child?"
Sleeping.
Eeping.
Best cure for everything, if you ask me.
He looks to Slea. Is that true? Is that true?
It certainly is it certainly helps. Not necessarily the cure for everything, but...
Oh, right, that's water.
He looks over at you, all stare, and looks back at Slea. Is that true?
Ulster stops laughing.
I'm not an imbecile. It's just been a while since I've been exposed to human
You could also
magic.
try planking for a minute a day.
Oh my god.
Well, you know what they say. Generally, about if someone claims that something cures everything, it would likely cure nothing.
There you go.
Stop drinking water.
No. You're not a cactus, Sarazur.
I only do that before.
What about friendship?
Friendship is the cure to everything.
It's not the cure to depression.
Though it does help.
Sarazur looks away and stops hitting the target harder.
It helps, like, sleep and water. Moderation to everything.
Moderation.
What the hell we've solved it?
Liam shuts up immediately.
If you like, we can look further into this hag business. You seemed very interested, and I myself am very interested in learning more about how on earth this child ended up in their care. But
I believe it has to do with the sisterhood.
Yes.
I think Sarazur at this stage, you would have explained the sisterhood connection to him.
We only know, well, also knows more, but we only know technically what we know from Droll.
That's fine. So I think that Sarazur would look rather appalled at the sort of like concept, even though he doesn't know much about it. And he says, whoever they are, they must be found and dealt with immediately.
Well, we have a lot of things we need to do immediately, including helping your ward and getting ready for the gauntlet.
Yes. Who, as far as you're aware, based on everything you've learnt so far, who are the architects of this disaster other than this, what was his name you said, your former mentor? Karul? Because if he has been neutralised,
fairly neutralised,
then the rest of the players are without a leader and ostensibly either not at full power and able to be taken down, or liabilities that need to be taken down immediately.
I'm going to go with the liabilities.
Who do you know who's involved?
Well, from what I could tell, Karul made a lot of his allies through disseminating the drug across Apraia. And they're going to hit the gauntlet next, which suggests that they're testing it on a larger scale in increasing order, which means after the gauntlet, it's probably going to be something even bigger.
I think Sarazur takes his drink and starts sipping at it, and he sort of moves over to sit. He pulls up a crate beside your swing so that he's sort of like starting to form a semicircle with Sleer on the veranda, Ulster on the swing, him on the crate. Sparks, you can sit somewhere as well if you want to. There'd probably be space next to Sleer.
Or you can have another swing if you ask Ulster.
Is it a double swing?
He can make swings, yeah.
Oh my God.
She might plant the sword tip in the sand and sort of like rest on the hilt and then just like moving her tail.
Nice. Now
from the last
Sparks. When Sarazur says this, you're taken back mentally for a moment to when you're on the material plane. No, not like Soya was. So material plane. So when you interrogated Clara in the facade of the Thieves Guild, and you remember that in your interrogation, she told you 3 names that had to do with the leaders of the rebellion, who were the leaders, of the rebellion in the country.
Yeah.
Do you write those down? You don't. I'm not gonna test you. Don't worry.
Azkarak?
Yes.
I
also you say Azkarak. I'll have that Saraz's reaction to these in once you guys know who they are. Do you want me to tell you? Because if you know you wrote them down, that's fine. I don't mind.
I know I wrote them down. I don't know anyway.
So you would have remembered the names: Birch Blackfeather, Zenith Bloodborne, and Lord Azkarak. Now, Sparks, these are people who you would have passing knowledge of, being quite high up in the Apraean social ladder and political ladder as well.
Higher Praean status.
Yeah. With them being... sorry, I need to open up my other document for this because Alan, I just saw... I was about to call you Alan. Alan, I just saw your gift. Steve! Steve! Alan.
Did we find out these names after...
Sorry. That's too good. Alan, you're so in sync with me. Right. Sorry, what did you say, Anna?
Did we find out these three names after we reanimated Pico Taro?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I'll be very quick to tell you. So, of the people who are mentioned, one is the Minister of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be in charge of convictions, like prisoners, serving out justice. Ostensibly, it's not well, no, we'll get to that. The other would be the captain of the City Watch, the captain of the guard. The City Watch specifically of Eldrelith's watch.
Bad.
And the last one is the one who is the highest of standings, which is the High Paladin, Askarak.
Paladin of
I think you know the answer.
Tiamat.
Yeah.
And Bluey knows this.
Yeah, and if you like, you can convey this to everyone.
So that the last one was as correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The captain of Eldrelith's watch was just first name. Who was the first name of the?
You got Birch Blackfeather, Zenith Bloodborne, Minister of Justice.
Okay. Thank you.
So you say those names out loud?
She probably stumbled a little bit.
It'll be simultaneous to what you said, Sparks. But first, Ulster, what do you want to say?
If you say the names of the people in like that, Ulster will just put his hand up and say, "Shouldn't we then prioritize, yanking your ward out of Eldrelith?"
So before, you say that, but you say that with you're looking over at Sparks and Astra to start with, and when you sort of turn, all of you notice that Sarazur's face is just drawn and darkened, and he says,
"You look even grumpier than usual."
All those people, he ignores you. All those people. You have to understand, they control key points of a Praea's political landscape.
Makes perfect sense then.
I can hardly believe it, but it makes so much sense.
So circling back, shouldn't we?
That's already my priority.
How do we do that?
Well, I have a plan.
What's your plan?
Well, I was going to go and get her.
Yeah, but you don't have any magic, so we actually need to open potentially a portal and just go.
He just nods and says, I have other connections. Friends.
So we could do it really quickly.
That's not... Speed is not... Yes, it's my priority, but safety is my number one priority. There has to be a balance between the two, so that we get in, we get out, nobody is hurt.
We have 2 days. Why don't we go get her?
It's doable, but I want you to understand that if they have a hand on these 3 people, they potentially have hands on the Thieves Guild. They potentially have hands on any criminals they may have in their network. They have hands on City Watch. That could even be an Ironstone.
Would have been really good to interview Karol before we destroyed his mind. Get a list.
And if Azkarak is at the head of this, then I imagine he won't go down easily. If, of course, he is the final boss, we should say.
What does he exploit his workers?
They're not unionized.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so we retrieve your ward. We'd be very careful about it because there's some bad big people involved. What do you plan on doing with her once you get her back?
Well, at the moment she is staying at the house of an affluent courtier. A safe house. But it is still... It's still an Eldritch Watch.
Then maybe we should consider bringing her here before we take our next move. Considering this is a whole plane away. And Ryan's not here, so he can't complain.
Luckily, this place is in the larger area. It is not within the city walls, but, well, for the rich and wealthy, there is a small island just off the coast which acts as a most distant borough to the city, one which I hoped would be suitable for her needs.
So,
We could go there.
Ulster jumps off his stone. I'm ready.
So we have 2 days to be in the Gauntlet. Is that right?
Yes. We will also probably need some portals. Maybe I should go ask Serena if she has any.
You will not be able to contact her while she is looking after Loran.
Well, what about your dad?
We can speak to my father.
Okay.
He is... No, I will bring him here.
And then once we have those, we can retrieve your ward, come back here, and we did it. We can have a party.
No, not quite, because then we have to go to the Gauntlet and make sure this is all done within 24 hours.
We can have a party in the few hours between.
Okay. He gives you a pat on the shoulder. It's very heavy.
Wow.
You sink into the ground, like 15 centimeters.
Please be careful. I am breakable.
Mm-hmm. You also look, for someone who spent the last day in a spa, eating well, remarkably frail. And also, you do notice that the small amount of weight and comfort you had with breathing since you had been passing around the Pay Night is starting to wear off. You're starting to return to your kind of former sickly levels.
Okay. I reckon I can tough it out for a day more, maybe.
Is that Ulster saying that to himself or out loud?
He says it out loud.
Tough what out?
The Pay Night. It eats.
Oh. Didn't we agree that we needed to...
Well, I do have the best tolerance to it. So like I said, I can probably tough it out another day, but then we might need to pass it on to someone else.
I haven't used it at all, so I could give it a shot.
Why don't we do that after we've rescued Sarazur's ward, just so we don't risk anything wild happening whilst we're in the field? I'll be fine. I've lived 26 years like this. Well, no, 20 years, because I don't know. Well, he kind of starts calculating and you lose him. He's lost his world.
You've lived with it longer than I've lived.
Well, yes, but I'm roughly the same age as you physically, because that's how Fae and Elven aging kind of works itself out. So we don't actually know how.
Sarazur says, and how many of those years have you been chronically ill? As you clearly are.
Since that.
We all look at Sarazur.
So there is no correlation whatsoever, and everything's completely fine. Like I said, I'm not a medical man, and your problems are your problems. I have no intention of solving your lifetimes of trauma.
That's fine.
Great. Okay. Well, a child's life is in danger. Another child's life is in danger.
She's not really a child, though, is she?
She is a child.
How old is she?
21.
It's older than me.
Older than me.
Again.
Well, then you are all children.
You think we're children?
Certainly act like children.
Right. We should get ready to go. Are you going to contact your dad, which would be nice, and then I can pack a little food basket in case we're deterred in any way.
Do you think we're going on a picnic?
No, I just try to make everything seem a little bit better.
Right.
It also helps if I bring food. Food makes everyone feel good.
You think you take your own advice?
I eat... Right, you... I eat perfectly fine. Just because I look like this does not mean I have a problem with eating. Don't say that. It's rude.
Apologies.
Good. Accepted.
Right, and he...
Every time Sarazur rolls his eyes, another cactus appears in the terrarium in the room.
Overwhelmed. He can't even go in his bed because it's sharp. There are like cacti growing in his mattress, and he rolls around in the bed and is like, ow! You hear like moans of pain.
Right, contact your father.
What exactly do you want him for?
Portals.
You know, we can just... Okay. It's just going to be hard for me because I haven't... We don't really see eye to eye.
We don't have time for your personal feelings.
Fine. And he goes inside.
Also sits back on his swing and waits.
Okay. So whilst he is doing that, what are you guys doing? Just so you know, he did leave all of his stuff outside if anybody wanted to peek through.
Can I try and pick up a sword?
Yeah, you can try.
Can I try and pick up Sarazur's sword?
Are you proficient with great weapons?
No.
No, you go flump. You just drag it through the sand and make little shapes.
Sparks, let's go.
Do you guys want to spar?
I mean, she would love to. I think she's concerned. Does martial weapons include the greatsword or no?
Oh god. This is the parts of D&D that I get fuzzy on.
Martial weapons is, great.
Yeah, martial weapons is any weapon that you hold.
But heavy, two-handed weapons you need special proficiency in.
Yeah.
Which is greatsword. So it says not proficient in greatsword.
Hang on. My weapon is versatile that I use. Longsword.
Yeah, so you would use you can use either with two hands or one hand.
But if I'm not proficient with two-handed... Oh, no, hang on.
You're a paladin. You should be proficient with two-handed weapons.
Yeah, you should be.
Martial and simple. And it doesn't elaborate on them. Ooh, have I been playing wrong this whole... No? Okay.
Just think of it in terms of size. You can do the big ones. I can't. Does Sarazur have any weapons on him?
Well, I said there was a taller sword and a shorter sword.
Can I take the short sword?
Yeah, so you go over and you pick up the short sword. that has been sort of wrapped there.
He swings it around like a toy.
Okay.
Oh,
Sure.
And is immediately thrown off balance. Sparks, you have to dodge as he goes, whoa!
Make what do you think? Make a athletics check.
3.
3.
3.
Okay. You do that. You go flomp on the ground and in the sand. And you do see this is a short sword. You don't know much about it because you've just picked it up once and thrown it to the ground. But you get the impression just from looking at it with your sort of natural arcane inclination, this is probably a very simple weapon when it comes to magic. But it could be rather interesting as well.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It means maybe have a close look.
Can I investigate it?
Yeah.
Just pour out all of my dice. Ew, there's a boba on it. Lovely. I love boba on my dice. Lovely. That is 15.
Okay. This sword seems to have like a very beautiful, intricate, because it's just kind of popped out of its scabbard a little bit when you fell. A really intricate pattern of leaves, and like almost like a branch, sort of like down the blade of the sword itself, and that motif is kind of carried on into the kind of carvings on the handle. It's very delicate in places, but you can tell it's seen a lot of use, so probably isn't going delicate in detail, but has seen a lot of use, so you can tell it's probably not delicate in terms of structure. It's probably very well made, very hearty. Did you roll? You rolled Arcana, didn't you?
Can I roll an Arcana check?
Roll an Arcana.
That is going to be very good. 21.
21. You have the inclination that you, as a druid, would really enjoy getting one good hit out of the sword, just giving it a whirl.
Hitting what?
There's targets everywhere.
Can I try and hit a target? Can I try and hit a target?
You can try and hit a target if you want
Also
to.
gets back up.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit the target. Watch. He points at you.
I believe.
Can I try and hit the target?
You can.
What's the attack bonus? 7 or something?
I'll tell you.
It's not most of the top well.
So it's going to be your proficient with short swords. So it's your regular melee attack.
So I don't have.
They are
hang
simple.
on, let me.
I should be okay.
I don't see short sword on the simple, but
Let me check.
short sword is a martial melee.
You should be fine with a short sword.
I'm just checking.
Yeah.
I'm just adding it to my equipment so I can see it. Yes, I am proficient.
Yeah.
So basically on D&D Beyond, I don't know if you can see that. No. At the top, there's a little thing that says proficient, and it will say yes or no next to it. So that's how you can check. Okay.
Yeah. So, you can roll to hit your target.
Let me just equip it so I can actually see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 11 plus 8. 19 to hit.
19, perfect. You slice through this dummy, let's call it. And you notice two things. The first is that when you slice through, where there is like a natural cut, and you see sand and like bark kind of pouring out of the gash in this target. You also see it begins to kind of corrode and like corrupt slightly as it takes, and you can write this down, an extra 1d4 poison damage.
Sarazur.
Mm-hmm. And this one is more of a, I'm going to give you a vague description, which should tell you exactly what it does, without wasting the use of it, because you may be going off and doing stuff today. You get the impression that with this sword, as there is a kind of ripple along the blade as it strikes down, as it strikes down and it lands and it comes to a stop, there's a ripple on that pattern, and for a moment you see a sort of like a branch tangling out and like ensnaring the ground.
Entangle?
It casts Entangle, yeah.
Is that like
once per day?
Wow.
You can cast Entangle when you hit on a...
Is that only for druids?
It's just druid coded. It's druid coded.
Also, like that is a cool sword.
Otherwise, once you've done that, it is a regular short sword, which does an extra 1d4 poison damage. But it also allows you to cast Entangle.
Right. Also, squares up to you, Sparks, and pokes you.
Pokes you with the pointy end?
No, with the blunt end.
Mm-hmm.
I was already poisoned recently.
No, he doesn't poison you.
Are you guys genuinely gonna...
Sleia, watch this.
Sleia, are you coming any closer? Are you doing anything, or are you just gonna stay where you are?
Sleia's watching, has like put down the book and is watching while knitting.
Okay.
It's like watching two children have fun.
Yeah. Okay.
The
two of you guys square up. I guess roll initiative.
Is it possible? I know it's possible to say non-lethal damage, but is it possible to say aiming for no damage, but still trying to like light hit sort of thing?
Yeah.
13 initiative.
Like kids tapping each other with like paper towel rolls.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you get the natural one, you're going to do proper. You're going to actually hit them.
Okay.
Or if you get like a really awful roll. This is the only time where an awful roll means you'll hit because you don't want to hit.
Yes.
So,
I think it took it 2 times I hit Neff with a dart. Twice. Anyway,
it's okay. This just makes sense in this universe. Why?
Ulster goes before me because I got 6 initiative.
Okay, Ulster. You have the high ground.
Oh, I have the high ground.
Well, no, you go first. You guys are on a level playing field.
There's something funny you could do, but I don't think you'd waste his spell like that. Ulster will dart to the side, and he will try and hit your ankle, Bluey.
Ooh.
So it's gonna be pretty good. I don't know if that's gonna be your arm. Oh, I probably will.
Would she have her armor on for training?
Oh, that's up to you guys. I think you guys wouldn't have armor, no, because you just woke up.
Okay,
so take your armor off.
I will take my armor off. In which case, I have a much lower armor. Oh yeah, 20. You would have hit me with armor anyway, but yes, that definitely hits. Ah.
Okay, I hit your ankle.
Oh, good hit. All right. I don't think she'll do 2 attacks. I think she'll just do 1.
Sure. Take it easy on him.
Is this with a long sword?
Are you using your own sword, or are you picking up the sword, the other sword?
I think I would have picked up the long sword, the training long sword. That Sarazur.
Okay, that's fine then. Yeah. You can't do anything other than bludgeoning damage with that anyway. So, yeah, you pick up the long sword and you hold it ahead of you. You kind of faint away or attempt to from Ulster's strike, but it does get you on the side. And what's interesting about this blade is even though it is doing non-lethal damage, it's almost like you get prickled by a bush
like
when you whack, like stinging nettles, and it's a little bit sore.
If the sword doesn't have a name, I'm calling it Nettle.
Fair enough, I like that.
She counters with a presumably hit at 21 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smack him.
Okay, got you back.
Okay.
No, you hit him and he pretends you've broken a bone. He's like clutches his side. He's like, ow!
Shit. Oh, I'm so sorry.
And then he smacks you right back with his sword.
Amazing.
And we continue as such.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Like, hey!
Would
And I just keep doing that until Sarazur comes back.
She might.
Like, oh, children, knitting.
She might introduce the second. She might start doing 2 attacks in one go.
If you do 2 attacks, he'll start biting you. He gives up on the sword and starts going for your finger.
Okay, you guys, this devolves into like slap. Sarazur, who's let's just sort of smash cut to Sarazur, who's inside, basically on the phone with his dad. Like,
outside.
No, it's fine.
Sparks running and all that onto Sparks' back.
No, Dad, I'm still here. I think I'm hallucinating. There's a weird twink in the garden. I think he's a fairy fighting a dragon. The moon is still here. Anyway, he comes. He yells out the window. You hear, "Oi! Don't actually break the targets. They're not. You're not supposed to use actual. I have specific ones. It doesn't matter. It's too late anyway."
The targets are all spilled over the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
You stuff them before you mend them.
Saying sorry is a weakness. I jump back on Sparks.
No, it's just good manners.
Ha!
I mean, I just felt sorry.
A bunch of children here. I don't know why. Right, so you guys are able to, if you wish to,
Thoroughly irritate each other.
You can go back inside.
Our hair, like my hair is like sticking up at odd ends. Sparks, a few of your scales have been turned the other way around.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like with a sequin.
Oh.
I don't know how you did that. I didn't know I could do that. I don't like it.
Yeah, you better not like it. He starts combing his hair down.
I'm glad it gets back.
And I'm so glad that we can agree that I won.
You guys go inside, and you see that Sarazur is standing by the door to a room that you haven't been in yet. And he says, "Right, before we speak with my father, he is a very straightforward man, and he doesn't take well to nonsense."
What's nonsense?
You. Maybe you shouldn't come.
Well,
that's discriminatory.
He probably needs to know. Oh, he probably needs to know.
Oh, he says, "Oh no, I'm so sorry if that came off that way. Not a weakness." He looks at you. I meant more like the moss and the fact that you were willing to just eat a mushroom.
I drop the pommel of his sword on his foot.
He evades it.
You have to roll for that. Don't I have to roll to hit? Hold on.
Roll to drop.
That's fine. Let me just check his character sheet.
27 to hit.
You got a natural 20?
I got a 19. It's +8.
To drop a sword? Wait, no. That's a this would be an improvised. Wait, no.
Yeah.
What did you roll?
27.
I thought you said it was a +7.
It's a +8.
Your
No, his sword. I've still got it.
That's sick. Your sword attacks are a +8.
Yeah.
Slay.
Yeah. He's not.
That's more than Sarazur.
It's just the character design that he looks weak. He's really good. I'll show you. Look.
Yeah, show me.
Look. All of his weapon attacks are a +8.
No, that's not what I wanted to click on. That's crazy. Right, I need to change his character sheet because also I can't be stronger than him. Oh, Lily, no. It's because you've still got yesterday's Oops All Strength on.
Okay,
Take that off.
Oh.
I knew I was wrong. I had a feeling.
I swear I did not know that.
I know.
That's very funny. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's how beefy Ulster thinks he is in that moment.
It's still really good. It's still a 24 to hit.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna say you do hit.
I just hit his big toe. Come on.
But Sarazur doesn't really feel it. He's like, "Why did you drop my sword?"
I stomp on his foot.
Okay, well then he's gonna roll again. 19, 20, 21.
Me, we're gonna go outside at some point.
Okay, he starts walking outside.
Oh yeah, right now? Okay, let's go.
Isn't your
Wait, what
dad on the
are we
line?
talking about?
Well, I'm gonna fight you.
Are you actually gonna fight him?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, I threw down the gauntlet.
Okay. Leander in Prue, who you haven't met yet, like...
You guys go talk to Leander, I'm gonna fight him. How dare you discriminate against me?
Wait, can I just clarify? He's not talking about your autism.
No, I know.
What do you think he's talking about
He's
then?
just discriminating against me.
Why? Because you're
I don't know,
Ulster.
for stupid reasons, because Sarah's had stupid reasons for discriminating against Ulster, so he's like, fine, let's go.
Okay, first of all...
You want a dick measuring
Can I actually
I will do this.
Can I say that line was more as a funny haha joke for us, not necessarily in character. So can I please have the possibility for a redo for that one line?
What line?
The one where he says, "You."
No, I think it was funny. I think it's good for canon.
Okay, I'll remember that next time you guys ask for a redo.
You don't want to fight Ulster?
Okay, fine. He goes outside. He says, I know that you are strong, Ulster. I don't need proof of that. You showed me yesterday.
But you just said I'm not allowed in the room because of nonsense.
That was obviously a joke.
It wasn't funny.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we put this to bed now?
Oh, I thought you were talking about all of us.
You're all ridiculous. It's true. But the brand of ridiculous which I can appreciate even if my father can't. He doesn't have a sense of humour.
That remains true.
Oh, damn.
Ulster, if you really do want to fight me, I can only fight you on equal terms.
What does that mean?
Non-lethal damage.
Oh, I would just fight you. Over and over again.
He already did to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want me to use my big spells, I've just got that.
I'm not...
But I can turn into something and sit on you, like a bear.
I've wrestled bears.
Well, I would wrestle you back.
They do that, bears.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know what you want to get out of this. Why are you even pushing against me? I was just giving you a... You can joke with my father if you want to try. I'm not going to stop you.
No,
I just want to warn you, they may not land in the way you expect. That's all I meant by it. I'm sorry if it's... You seem to have taken it deeper. I did not intend it that way.
I was taking it deeper, so let's just move on.
No, I'm confused. You want to fight him, so he's earnestly responding to the situation.
Ulster ignores Sarazur.
Okay, fair enough. I want you all to know that if Sarazur felt that he had upset Ulster based on his neurodivergence, that is something... No, I know. But if he perceived that, then he would want to make sure that was very firmly not the case. Hence why he apologised.
No, he caught you nonsense, and he was like, "Fine, I'll show you how nonsense I can be." Enough to fight him.
And then that's why he explained what he meant was more he doesn't have a sense of humour, and you guys are all nonsensical.
Okay.
Well, we just need portals anyway.
Indeed. Well, I got him here for you. It wasn't easy, but I think he'll listen. Though, Ulster, you may need to introduce yourself in a formal way.
Why?
Because of what you are.
I am an elf.
No. You know what I mean. Hello, Lala chicken! There's a chicken here!
Chicken!
Oh, I want to eat
Roast
chicken. Anna, when you come to the UK, you need to come and meet him.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes,
You should
definitely.
Can I have one? A crumb of Lala? Oh, hit my dice on my god.
Oh, a crumb of him!
Lala.
It's a very big crumb.
Can I insight check what Sarazur means?
About?
Me.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah.
15.
15, the fact that you're engaged to Leander's son might be important.
Right.
But he clearly, the reason you get that is because he breaks eye contact with you and is just like, oh.
Ulster polishes his ring up. Okay.
Alright then. You turn off the battle music.
Well, actually, turn it up.
I mean, if it's not bothering you, I can leave it on, but it's not exactly a battle.
Ulster will stride into the room ready to introduce himself.
Okay. I'm going to put the Baldur's Gate soundtrack on.
Lala chicken.
I love Baldur's Gate, guys! I love it.
Good.
I should have taken photos of all of Lily's gifts so I can send them to you. That has nothing to do with Baldur's Gate. Okay. Anyway.
Right.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Ulster throws the door open.
You open the door, and inside you see a room which is brimming with ledgers similar to those you saw earlier, Slayer, with notepaper, with stacks of books, with files, everything. There is a wall that is just completely filled with scrolls that have all got like organized places. There is a desk just inundated, and actually, interestingly, there are a few things in here which are set apart from the other things. There is on the desk spread out a large jewelry box, like a very flat one, like you'd see in a jewelry shop, like a market, to display items. Only this is just filled with different gems, rings, necklaces, and behind the desk, you see a man.
Can I interest you in some jewelry?
You see a man who looks remarkably similar to Sarazur, only a little more older, mature looking. Not too much, because I mean he is Fae after all. But just set apart enough that you know he's of a different generation, with a little bit lighter skin than Zarina, than his children. Sorry, and a kind of like more brownish, darker hair. And he has got like one of those very small like magnifying glasses in one eye, a quill in the other hand, and he is just looking closely at a ring that's sort of set out on a velvet cushion, and he's just going,
Hello.
"Oh no!" He looks up.
Yeah.
Hello, who are you all? I've been summoned here. I don't have much time. Speak. Make your cases.
I like it. He gets to the point.
Thank you. He nods. He's rather handsome. You can tell this is where Lorraine came from.
Hello. My name is Bluey Sparks.
Blue Sparks. And who are your accomplices?
Accomplices?
I don't know how I would refer to Ulster.
I'm
Especially
also one.
Mm-hmm. And he looks over at Slayer.
Astra.
Pleasure to meet you all. I am very short on time.
Oh, I better do this quickly. I am your son's fiancée. Not this son, he points at Sarazur, other one. Nice to meet you.
He did immediately look over at Sarazur and look a bit aghast, and then was like, that seems more age appropriate. To which Sarazur looks a bit like, I'm not even that old. But at that, Leander, hi chicken. Oh,
he is such a chicken. Wow.
You love your mummy? Mummy loves you.
He loves love. Oh. La la. La la chicken. Oh. So, at which point Leander stands and walks over to you. All stare. He is much taller than you.
I go. I hold my hand out. Are we going to shake? Or are we going to slap? Okay.
You go to slap and he grabs your hand and goes, pleasure to meet you. How do you know my son?
Do you want long? You don't have much time.
No.
We met via my mum and then told my mum that we didn't like her and that we were going to get married.
It's a complicated.
And your mother is
Sharpest or game on of the Maasai.
a royal figure.
Yes, I am the crown prince of the Maasai Ice Desert.
And you said you don't like her.
Not really that much. No.
Inciting the violence of a country against you.
No, not really. More just against Loran, but I'm gonna keep him safe.
He looked almost like he was about to be impressed, and looks like he's not impressed, and he says, I do not support violence against my son. However,
He'll be fine.
I believe you.
He'll be
You
fine.
seem capable.
Yeah.
I
like the anarchy of your statements.
Just so you know, I've also sworn to protect Loran.
He's upstairs sick.
So it is not just Ulster. I also owe him money now, and which I will repay by working in his shop.
Very good. By the way, may I ask, how long have you stayed in this house?
1 night.
2 nights.
2 nights.
Wait, 2 nights? Oh, sorry, 2 nights. She would say 2 nights.
You've partaken of our food?
No, I brought my own food and made it for you guys.
I'm only joking. I'm not going to add that to your tab.
I have.
Couldn't you tell that was a joke?
No, I get it. I have infinite wealth though, so it doesn't matter.
I suppose money really doesn't matter to those with infinite wealth. That's very correct. You don't speak much, but you seem to have eyes that hold the knowledge of 1,000 stars, he says when he looks at Astra.
Yes, that is correct, I suppose.
Quite right. He goes back and he sits down. What did you want to say? Sorry, I cut you off.
Who?
Did Astra want to say anything more?
I cut you off.
No, that was all I had. Sorry.
The very few words there being demonstrated.
Indeed. He goes and he sits back down. Right. Very good.
We need portals.
You need portals.
Yeah.
Why?
Material plan.
Yeah, because Sarazur has a ward that we need to rescue. Otherwise, she might.
And that can't wait the 1 day it takes to travel to the station?
No.
Is this like a life or death situation?
Yes, because we have other things we need to do.
That are time sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Although we appreciate
I
that
think you understand that it is my wife who is the magician and I am more of the support.
Yes, but you would have access to the portals, and she is currently helping Loran, who I'm sure you know is in a comatose state as he had issues with his mind.
He looks bewildered for a moment.
He had a mind sickness. It's being fixed. Hopefully.
Loran is here.
Yeah, he's upstairs. Sneezing. Did Serena not tell you that?
I've been busy.
If you wait 2 days, he'll wake up. Well, more like 1.5 days, because it's already been half a day now, and it was 3 days total.
I'm sorry you found it out like this.
That too.
You coming here, I can understand. If I was in your position and I knew someone who would distance themselves from their family, I'd want to see it for myself. How awful failures they were.
Well, I feel like you should talk to him about that when he's awake.
No, it's better that the distance is better, I'm sure.
Well, I don't actually think so. I think he's actually quite upset. As is Sarazur, but he won't talk about it because he's Sarazur. But I'm sure you could talk about it as his dad. You know, you and Serena kind of have a responsibility to your children. But that's another issue. We actually really need the portals very soon. And then we could discuss your family issues and counselling.
You are...
Might actually be more...
You're moving through these things far too fast. You say things very matter-of-factly, but they are important and need more time.
They do. But Sarazur's ward is in danger and may pass.
Nakia is here.
But we're talking about the other one. You have many children, don't you, Sarazur? He pats him on the arm.
More and more every day. To which Leander looks mortified. He says, how many dependents do you have now? And Zara says, not like that, no.
Just ask Glade.
Sarazur looks at you like...
Sorry,
Sparks has no idea who this is.
That stands between you two like, isn't this nice?
Sarazur. Whatever, you're grown up, you can do what you want. Who you... What? Ugh. Just portals. Look, the work I am doing now is incredibly time sensitive as well. If I need my magic later, this is going to be difficult for me. You understand?
I understand.
Make a persuasion check as a group, all three of you.
Okay.
We'll add it together and divide by 3.
Okay.
My powers of persuasion.
18. No, 17.
18.
Nice.
17 plus 7.
24.
A lot.
Okay, 19 total.
Astra says little, very convincing though.
It's just the stony look.
Okay, we'll make this quick. And he puts down the eyeglass he was using. Anyone want a investigation check on this room?
Yes, actually.
Okay, cool.
Ooh, that is...
I think I'm back 2 as well.
22.
22?
22.
12. I think I was interested in the eyeglass you just put down. The 12.
Okay, yeah. And, okay, so then the 2 of you guys, looking around the room.
Astra's would have been a 19.
Okay, 3 of you all looking around the room. All stare with the highest roll. You would have been able to tell that everything on that tray of jewellery is magical in some way. Every single item.
Can I see any fun items?
You need to do that specifically. You would need identify.
Nothing I recognise.
These are all rare magical items, nothing you would have seen.
I point at them. What are those?
We really don't have time for this, and it's none of your business. This is work. You need teleportation.
Can you tell us what one of the things does?
One ring of X-ray vision. It was all contraband, confiscated. It's my job to catalogue and then archive it.
You're like the groundskeeper who patrol around and catch naughty students who have contraband in their pockets.
I wish it was that easy. The worst is when they go missing. God.
Oh, I have an item you might be interested in later. But yes, portals.
Indeed. Sparks, you were looking at the monocle, and it is a monocle of identification. So if you wanted to identify any of these objects, you just have to pick it up and look through it.
Sparks would look so cute with a monocle, just saying.
Yeah. But it's essentially a monocle that casts Identify. There is a limit, but like for the sake of RP, it's a
high limit. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. Are all these items staying put?
Can we take any on our trip?
You're just going to ask him? Yeah. No, he says.
But
they're all important.
We're important.
I just met you today.
I'm going to marry the man.
Then surely you can look after yourself.
Well, I can look after myself, but I don't know if he can. He looks at Sarazur. We want to protect him.
I know he can look after himself.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You didn't even know about Blade. There are many things you don't know about Sarazur. Like his bad back at the moment, he pats Sarazur. We need to protect him.
Are you asking for items?
Yes.
Okay.
Sparks looks at Allstar like, what are you doing?
He looks over at you, Sparks. If you have anything to add, now is the time.
Is this boy yours?
Is this boy yours?
I mean, if this is gonna take away from your focus, then looks to Ulster, then I presumably if we come back here again.
Important mission, and if we die, and there could have been an item here that could have saved our lives, won't you feel silly then?
Well, I guess I'll be dead, so I won't be able to feel silly.
Well, you might be dead and feel bad about it, but I can transform into an insect and fly away, and then I'll feel really bad because you all died and I got away. What if there was a way to prevent that?
Sarazur looks at you and says, you would run away from your dying friends in battle?
No, I would run away, get Revivify, come back and bring you back to life.
What's Revivify?
Oh, it's a special spell. Points at Astra.
Then what if Astra's dead?
Well, then I'll find another cleric.
Well, here's the thing. I don't actually know how to do that.
My dad does.
So if you were in the midst of battle and all your friends had died, you would fly away, assuming that the enemy wouldn't destroy or take their bodies to use them against you later as puppets, go find your father, who you've said you don't like and does not like you, and you'd then convince him to come back to the battlefield with you to revive your friends of 3 weeks.
No. What I would do is I would take a bit of each of your hair, which I should actually do preemptively, put it in my pouch. Then, if you all died, which would be really sad and I would not like that to happen, I would prefer to die first. But if I was still alive, I could then fly away, take all of the bits of hair to someone like my father or a
Just take the damn rings! Leander says, eventually. You guys have now got, I'm going to pick these randomly. One of you has the Ring of Warmth. You are unharmed by temperatures as low as minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And while wearing this ring, you have resistance to cold damage.
That's pretty cool.
You have the Ring of X-ray Vision, which I mentioned earlier. These are all available on D&D Beyond. While wearing this ring, you can use its command word to speak through solid matter. See through solid matter for a minute.
Anything else?
And then... Ooh.
Quite nice if we had one each.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm just having a look. I just want to make sure I get something like feels random. The one I clicked on didn't have a description I could get to, but I'm going to see if I can look it up.
Would we save one for Cass?
I don't know if Georgia's going to be.
Okay.
You can also get, if you want to, the Ring of... No, that seems too powerful.
That's rude. She would have very powerful items on it.
Ring of Water Walking, then.
Ring of Water Walking.
You can move across any liquid surface as if it was solid ground.
Right, guys, who wants what?
I mean, I love staying warm, but
these are all very niche, circumstantial things.
Can I have the water walking one then?
Yeah.
I want to be.
Literally, you know what? Leander is so frustrated. He's just gonna. Whoever asks first is just gonna get it. So he just throws it at you. Get that. Go. Put it on.
Okay.
Astra, may I take the warmth?
Sure. I'm fine without though. Thank you very much.
Leander brandishes this ring in front of you and says, "I was more than willing to give you a magical ring for free. Why are you saying no?"
Yeah, Astra, why are you saying no?
Because clearly you're frustrated with our presence, so I just...
Oh, Astra, people are going to die. Alstead takes the ring of X-ray vision and scowls at Astra. He looks actually pretty miffed. I'm going to give it to Sarazur if you don't want it.
Very well, give it to Sarazur.
Do you want to come on this mission?
Well, yes, obviously.
Alstead presses the ring into Sarazur's hand and leaves the room. It's nice to meet you, Leander. And leaves.
So you guys all leave the room. Leander looks perplexed, but he closes and locks the door behind him with the key. And
I assume Sarazur has the portals.
Well, they know exactly where he's going. That's all you need. And the three of you follow as Leander leads you to what you all know from our previous campaign is the little teleportation circle that is just in one of the lower levels of this house. The house is a puzzle that has been ramshackly put together over and over time as Zarina has gained power and financial freedom. And you guys can sort of see that in the layout here. But Astra, you recognize some of the engravings on the wall to this room being kind of inspired by like different constellations. The tiling is a bit more Carnet. I don't know if any of you guys would know that, but I think Sarazur would sort of like just mention it probably in the architectural tour of the house. But you all recognize a teleportation circle when you see one. There is a podium, there is a sort of like a scroll which you read off of, and Leander stands at it and he says, "Oh, no."
And do you want me to come back?
Well, I'll be waiting here.
Okay.
One ear, well, we'll be right here, but I'll have one ear open. So give me a minute or so. Just make sure you're not in dire straits, because obviously, like I said, it could take me a minute to respond. And he like is rummaging through like a drawer in the podium, and he says, "You need this though," and he hands over a token. Snap this when it's time to come home, and it's a one-time use. It will burst into flames or disintegrate or whatever Zarina's done to it when you're ready to return.
Okay.
He looks over at Sarazur. Where are we going? And I think we'll take a little break, get some tea. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, I want to explain, I'm not angry at you, Aelin or Astra. Alstead's frustrated because I think he feels like they need to do this very quickly and he wants to see the same passion in Astra, and I think he doesn't. So if you want to sort that out with him, that's fine. But I wanted to let you know, in terms of keeping it a safe space, I'm not mad at you or Astra at all.
Okay.
Cool. Radio, guys.
Right,
Shall we come back in
10.
like 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Also, just to make a quick clarification, like in general, like Astra's emotions this morning would have been just very muted.
Mm.
Okay. Can I ask, is that because of what Sarazur said? Is that because of what Sarazur said?
Yes, that would be a direct correlation.
Because that is very, very much not what he actually meant. And I think that might be something that we need to talk about, maybe, just so that you don't have because I think that he would be quite shocked if you took that from what he had said the day before. Because he was praising you as well as critiquing your strategy, specifically in that fight, not your emotions or your curiosity or your morals or anything at all. Like, he respects 100% the fact that you went after the child and praised a lot of what you did. His reaction about the emotions was not something he said about you in general. He said that your reaction to the hag put your life at danger, and he didn't like that. And he felt that was because you had an emotional connection, which she could have potentially exploited. But he would have meant that exclusively only in terms of like battle strategy. Not
I will
in
say
terms
that this
of
isn't just like Sarazur, it's like kind of like a build-up of various things.
Okay, that's fine then.
But not like...
I think we might need to talk about that as a group, because I know that also I'd be really upset if he couldn't read someone that he considered a friend. So maybe after this, if we could make time to kind of talk and debrief about that, just because I know that also would not be able to cope, I think, if one of his friends suddenly started acting that way. So
let's make some tea and then we'll come back to it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you. Oh, did you want to do any discussion off camera about character intention or?
Oh no, I think it's mostly in character. I mean, you can ask. I mean, we can discuss it later, because I think Ulster's quite.
I will give you guys a natural moment to talk.
Yeah,
if you guys feel like you need to have character conversations, that's fine.
I think it's quite obvious if you know Ulster as a character why he would be a little bit upset. Just because he bases so much of his relationships on being able to perceive people's emotions and reactions, and
I'll give you guys a moment in game to talk about.
No, I'm explaining what he wouldn't explain in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's probably just feeling he can't understand Astra at the moment, and he doesn't react well, I think, when he can't perceive what's going on, and if he perceives the wrong kind of emotion from someone, he can get a bit upset. Mm-hmm. So that's just how I play him.
Okay. For sure. Like I said, I'll make a time in the next hour and a half where you guys can talk about it.
That's fine. Just go rescue Danuelle.
So, are we ready to press the button? Cool. So, Leander says, "Where am I sending you?"
Sarazur?
And Sarazur says, "The Sinclair retreat, please." And he says, "Sinclair, you really do have some strange friends. None of my business." And he...
Can I insight check Sarazur?
Yeah. Guys, do you not remember this name?
No. Okay. 23 for insight on Sarazur.
23. He just looks a bit like, "Thanks, Dad." Probably referring to the Glade collection as well.
Who's Sinclair?
I'm not going to tell you until you see.
But I got 23 inside.
Yeah, that's not a knowledge check. That's an emotional intelligence. If you can't remember, it's funnier if there is a reveal. Sure. So.
My mug has a tummy and boobs.
Tummy and boobs. I love tummy and boobs.
They are very pretty.
Yeah.
See?
Give me a moment. Okay, perfect. So, you guys feel that familiar rush around you as the ground kind of rumbles and there's a rush. You feel that sensation like you're falling, but you know your feet never touch the ground. Familiar with it now, you have a bit of a wooze, but you manage to stop yourselves, and you are standing. Obviously, you can only be in the environs of these places. You are never led truly up to.
This is the Sinclair home, right?
Yes. The Sinclair Retreat, which is part of Eldrith's Watch, but it's an interesting part of Eldrith's Watch, which you discover immediately upon your arrival. Yes. So, much in the way Cass's Castle Island at the end of Campaign 1 was connected to Ironstone, this outer borough of Eldrith's Watch is a small but nice, like quite fairly inhabited isle, with the majority of its homes being sort of pier-based houseboats, as it's like quite a well-constructed pier around the bottom. There is a ferry that goes back and forth between the mainland. It's really the last area you can go before you get into sort of a no man's land of like piracy and dangerous open waters. You know, very close to here there is a lot of sea monsters.
Very safe place to be.
Very safe. But this is not that area. That is a ways off. This is sort of the last land area that belongs to a prayer before that. So there's still a ways to go before you get there, don't worry.
Let's get the princess. Let's go.
Okay, so you guys are sort of teleported at the foot of a sloping up walkway. It's a pebble walkway. It's quite rustic. There is the idea here, because it is close to somewhere known as Umbrella, which is a very Parisian metropolitan country. There is the idea here that you could take a taxi, and there is a carriage or two that await at the foot of this aisle. Horses sort of like just towed there. They are open air. They're nothing too fancy, but they're not. It's giving rich people's playground kind of vibes.
Do we need a taxi or can we walk, Sarazur?
Sarah says it depends completely on your own comfort.
How far is it?
Up that hill, and you look up and it goes whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And
would
then
also be tired if you walked up this hill.
You would be tired if you walked up this hill.
Also, will not be the one to ask for the taxi, but he's like,
Wow, those taxis look really interesting.
Shall we get a taxi?
He is like, maybe.
So
he looks ashamed.
You guys notice
I did
there's
a lot of walking when I was younger, okay? I didn't have a lot of time to train the walking muscles.
Okay.
Astra just gives him an affectionate pat on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
He sniffles. He's like,
okay.
Astra's coming back again. He looks genuinely relieved that you show him some sign of affection, Astra.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like the more he would like look at her, the more he would see just like subtle signs that just aren't readily available for someone who isn't looking for them.
I will note this. He will pay for the taxi as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Having, as he said, infinite wealth.
Sarazur takes a seat and mentions the location to the driver. But I wanted to give you guys some details before you went off. First of all, you notice there is a fairly, what appears to be a fairly well-established trading company that is operating out of here. It seems to be, whilst it is well-established as a trading company, let me remind you all, this is a posh playground. So it is trading in trinkets and sillies, and not in anything of any actual means. Pretty things and expensive food.
This is like they only have avocado on this island.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. It's like Hydra.
Wow, this really reminds me of places I don't want to go back to.
You see little 4-person nuclear families in their all matching outfits and sun hats bathing. These people have clearly not at all been touched by the horrible death plague that has been offending a prayer.
I think they actually might have it better than people who live in the royal state of the Maasai.
And with that, you guys hear the horses kicking off and go. So,
I guess that there are no wells to poison you.
Probably likely that they import their water from other isles with fresh water. A prayer is the closest, but I mean, you know how that Fiji water tastes so different. The fact that they're relying on exotic foreign exports that are terrible for the environment is probably why they've fared so well. Yeah, also it's just
like, I don't like this place, Sarazur. Why did you pick this place?
Honestly.
Does she like this place?
I just wanted to have a taste of the life she deserved.
You mean people are born to deserve? You peer that overpriced water.
Honestly, I didn't do as much research into it as I should, but after 21 years of loneliness and pain, thinking she was an orphan, trapped somewhere she didn't want to be, in a country that was falling apart. What was a month of forgetting about the world? I just thought I could do that one thing for her.
I suppose that's fair.
I'm not the kind of person who... There aren't that many people who know me, but anyone who knows me knows I'm not the kind of person who puts a high value on nobility and the divine right of kings. I lost that childhood dream long ago, and it took some of my friends with it. But I am also a little bit of a hypocrite in that I couldn't let go of her. She felt like she still feel like the daughter I should have had, and she has no parents, no one to take care of her.
That is incorrect. She has you.
It's true. I'm sure they have very comfortable lodgings here, so I guess you did take care of her quite well.
I'll be honest with you, I was planning on paying for assistance for this mission. I don't have many allies ready here.
That's why we're here.
Yes, but...
And you don't have to pay us.
I have prepared a purse, though, of 1,000 gold pieces for each of you.
Well, that's if we need to bribe anyone whilst we're here.
I didn't bring simply pay it to Loran, since I believe that should cover any fees that I have accrued.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not giving him anything.
Bluey's 3-month contract needs paying off.
I'm not giving him anything.
That was a joke.
I mean, any funds you would be paying me would be going to him anyways.
God.
Although,
I'm sorry he ensnared you.
just to calm everyone down, like I said, I can pay for anything that we need whilst we're here. Don't worry about it. No coin purse required.
Now, you guys know that time moves differently in the Feywild than it does on the material plane. You guys were there for a day and a half. It looks like the evening of the day you left here.
Good.
So
We have plenty of time, guys. I think we should actually have the party.
So
Right
if you
after
want
Ram wakes
to,
up.
if you do want to take some time to plan, have conversations, explore, figure out the best course of action, you do. That's entirely up to you.
Or you should first figure out, what was her name? Sarazur, sorry.
Her name is Danuelle Karadaman Yazar.
We need to figure out where Danuelle is.
Danuelle.
Danuelle is.
Mm.
And then we need to figure out an extraction plan. But we need to do it relatively quickly because the more time passes here, by the time we get back, it would have already... If we spend a day here, the Ram would have woken up by the time we get back. Easily.
Sarazur says,
He'll be very worried if we're not there.
Sarazur says, don't worry about the reverse. Just trust me. Trust me, don't worry, it's fine. I'll forget.
No, I'll remember. Okay, then let's give ourselves... What do we think, everyone? We can get this done in 7 hours? Longer?
Mm-hmm.
Usually
Sarah's
not
looked
good
around.
at estimating time myself, but if 7 hours is seems good to most, then it seems good to me.
Well, let me calculate. I'm reasonably good with numbers, although probably not as good as Loran would be. If it's been a day and a half in the Feywild, and it's only been a matter of several hours here, by the time we get back, within 7 hours, Loran will be on the verge of waking up.
Okay.
However, that means if we can get it done even sooner, that would be better. Okay.
All right.
I don't want him to wake up and be shocked immediately again.
Okay.
Sparks.
I have a separate thing I'd like to do. I think Sparks has a map of all the temples in Prayer.
Yes.
When she takes it out, are there any marked on this small isle?
Ooh.
I thought you had to tick that type.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, there is. Yes.
very good. Does it say allegiance?
Just a little snake shape.
Okay.
What's a snake shape? What's a snake shape, Sparks?
Oh, sorry. Okay. I don't personally know. Shall I do like a history check or something, or religion? Religion?
Yeah, of course.
Can I assist?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like
Okay,
to take advantage? Or would you like me?
My religion is a +2. What's yours?
I'm a +3 if you want me to do it.
Shall we?
Or do you want to do one each?
How does that? One each, and then
Either one of us rolls it, draw one each. What do you prefer?
I mean, I could also pitch in as well.
We could all
three
roll?
roll.
So I think she would clearly display the map so everyone can see the shape of it.
18 for religion.
It's been interesting. All of you have kind of like a vaguely holy link.
My dad's really into this stuff.
I love this kind of stuff.
I rolled an 18.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Sparks. Astrid. Awesome. I don't know how Sparks did.
That's a nat 1.
Sparks is like, shapes and colours.
Some colours.
Ness Monster! You guys look at Sparks, and Sparks...
Nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
Oh, fuck. Why did they write that line? Why?
I didn't catch the start of that. If you want, I don't have to. Okay.
You named!
I'm assuming that Ulster and Astra look
Get
at
it.
each other and know what it is.
The sea bitch herself.
Is it Umberly?
It's an Umberly temple.
Umberly temple.
fuck.
It's less Umberly in our Center world and more Umberly in the sort of Baldur's Gate world. But they are still the same Umberly, just watched in different ways.
For context, Anna, Umberly is the deity of my Sea Elf cleric, and she gives him such a rough ride. It's not fun. She's very mean.
You know what that implies the existence of, though?
What?
Is this amateur hour?
Extended universe.
No.
What?
An Umberly temple implies the existence of...
A Wave Mother's robe.
Yes. I'll let you guys fight over that in accordance.
Clearly. Guys, I'm getting married. I need all of this seduction.
There can be a couple.
No.
They can all be different colours. There can be a blue one, a silver one, and like a purple one.
Well, we'll do that. We'll go to the temple.
You guys will all be sluts together!
Wait, that'll be a perfect cover though. If we go to the Temple of Umberly and make an offering, we might be able to walk around as acolytes of Umberly. It makes sense, we're on an island.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be perfect cover. People can walk around freely.
And I
Sarazur
don't actually
says,
know that it's incorrect as my deity, so...
There you go.
Sarazur says, and I suppose you could be shepherding me as a sellsword.
Yes, maybe you purchase our wares to take you. I believe they charge for ferrying across passages.
Fair enough.
She takes also looks at Astra kind of for backup because he's recalling the knowledge. I think she just asked for riches, from what I remember. So I have.
We have a ring of X-ray vision nobody's wearing.
We could donate that in order to get in.
I can't think of a single use for this anyway.
Or I could give a diamond.
Do you have many of those left?
You have 6 left.
He pulls
6
out the
little
raffle
marble-sized diamonds. No, we said that you have inside the rattle 6 marble-sized diamonds, which you can use.
Fucking diamonds.
Yeah,
okay.
I know, Lily. That's why they are useful.
He pulls it out and shows it to you. Yeah.
Okay.
They just shake around in there, and all these little ones are encrusted on the outside.
Yeah, you don't want to see my room at home. He just looks away.
Sarazur, the camaraderie you were building seems to dissipate.
To be fair, I'm not allowed to get rid of it. I stole this, just so you know.
From your own home.
Yes. If I took more, I feel like they would have reclaimed it. Scratching.
You understand that one of those diamonds would have set you up for life. You don't understand that because you don't understand the value of money because you have infinite funds. Doesn't matter. It is pointless to talk about
You can be upset with me all you like.
I'm not upset at you. I'm understanding you.
Well, I understand being upset at the institute that I come from. I am trying to learn my position and privilege. If it helps at all, I would prefer to not have this stuff and redistribute it, if I don't plan on becoming king, but I hope that the next person who becomes king, who might be my ex-fiance actually, maybe I should talk to him about this, might be able to take the relics that we have in our family vaults and perhaps send those around the country to help build new states. That would be my idea anyway, because most of the wealth is consolidated in the royal state. And he continues giving a lesson on the history and how he would change them aside for the better all the way up.
Well,
but yeah, I don't want to be king.
Okay, so he just nods and knocks on the driver's window and just said, no, I feel like this is an open air kind of carriage. I think instead of horses, can they be donkeys?
Or goats.
No, goats are more Kalkan.
Deep breathing.
Deep breathing. Wait, no. Hang on.
Strange oxes.
Wait.
Oryx.
A crowd of oxen. They're weird.
No, what if they're I just want to make sure these aren't incredibly powerful. What if they're Yales?
What?
Yales.
What's a Yale?
Yales are they basically look like antelopes but have tusks and one horn is pointing either way.
Also becomes incredibly interested in these animals.
Antelope or goat-like creature with the tusks of a boar and large horns. These horns possess the ability to swivel in any direction, which makes them good for both offensive and defensive attacks.
That's so cool. Also looks at them closely. He's like, maybe if I study them really close, I could turn into one day.
It is the size of a river horse, has the tail of an elephant, and is a black or tawny colour. It also has the jaws of a wild boar and the horns that are movable. That's what it says on Wikipedia. But I just thought of Yale.
I will start sketching one of these.
Okay, you sketch a Yale. There's like 2 of them. And Sarazur instructs the driver, who is a small, like well-dressed gnomish man with a very handsome haircut and a sharp jawline.
We're going to Umberly Temple, right?
Turn around and go to the Umberly Temple. But it's not too much of a turnaround and more of just a little detour. You are taken across the edge of the island with the cliff on your right-hand side and the ocean on the left.
Very pretty.
Sarazur nods and says it's chosen for its beauty. And obviously the weather is rather warm this side of a prayer.
It's
if you
like a
look...
holiday destination.
Well, the best you'll get in this country. It's not quite Kalkan, but not much is. If you look, and he points over in the distance, opposite where you guys are all sitting, you guys can also turn around if you're facing the other side of the cart. You see a line of landmass just peeking up on the horizon, and he says, "Danuelle's mother's land." And then
pretty.
he sort of like guides his hand slightly to the left. The Carnet Strait.
Wow, you get a great view from here.
No, there's not much to interrupt it.
Would
An
I
open
flew
channel.
really high? Maybe I could see even better. No, I'll save that.
As Sarazur is like pointing these things out, Astra's like writing notes in her notebook about basically everything he's saying.
If anybody wanted a time to chat, so you feel like this would probably be a good time, you're only just travelling.
I mean, I've done a lot of talking. He just talks to fill the space.
I meant more like the character you mentioned.
Also, is Astra like showed some understanding, I think, for why Alster was upset. So he wouldn't bring it up again unless, but he would spare looks at Astra quite often just to make sure that Astra is okay. I think he's aware that they've had quite a few up and downs with the issues with Drul and with Loran, and he can sense maybe something happened with Sarazur. But he has gone back to kind of acting like normal with Astra once Astra kind of clocked that he was upset, I think. So it's up to if they want to bring it up again.
I think just with passive like insight, it doesn't seem like Astra has like taken anything personally, just seems to be more withdrawn.
Okay. As they approach the temple then, knowing maybe that he didn't want to make the longer trip awkward, also will just kind of shuffle over with his drawings and put it down in Astra's lap. What do you think? And he's done very detailed drawings of the Yale.
Oh, I like them very much. You've
got
quite good attention to detail on this bit. And like Astra like kind of like shuffles like their notes side by side so you can see that like they've kind of done something similar, but it's less artistic and more of like diagrams.
It's like, this is good, very good. We should create a botanical and fauna book.
That would be lovely.
Yes, I will add that to the agenda.
And it is the herbarium.
He snaps his book closed. Well, we're almost there. So, how's everyone feeling? What's their persona as an acolyte of Umberlee? Why do you like the ocean, Sparks?
Around this part of the country, it's generally nice and warm.
Mm-hmm. You like the warmth of the upper layers where sunlight can penetrate.
Yes, I certainly don't go diving. I mean, I've definitely
You go
tried
wading.
it. Yes.
Right. What about you, Astra? Do you prefer? He looks you up and down.
The Twilight Zone.
Do you prefer the Twilight Zone? Yeah.
I mean, I love all of the places that the sea can take us, as well as all the creatures within it.
That's a good answer. Keep that. As for me, I love the Arctic oceans.
Blobfish. Blobfish, Sarazur says.
Blobfish, did you know that when you bring them above the surface, they look really ugly, but underwater they look proper?
Just like me.
Right, well, I'll just say I like the cold. I think it's interesting that if you stay still, you stay warmer, but if you move, you freeze to death. Sarazur, why do you like the ocean?
I thought I was am I an acolyte? Am I also doing...
No, oh, sorry, yes. Where are you going? Why have you chosen us as your transportation?
So that I can retrieve my ward from Sinclair Retreat.
No, it's better not to tell the truth.
So that I can retrieve my belongings from Sinclair Retreat because I live there.
Yeah? Or maybe you were scouting for work?
I work at Sinclair Retreat.
Okay. You protect the rich people.
I am the ambassador to Kalkan and I need to send an important message from the royal palace.
That's too much. I think
I am the ambassador to Kalkan.
Yes, but we're trying not to tell the truth, Sarazur.
I'm the ambassador to Uzpor and I'm sending a royal message.
No.
He
holds up his hand. Sarazur.
Maybe I should just be an acolyte.
A partial truth will serve us better, and it will help.
Stinking shit.
No.
Umberlee chose you. You're an untaken member of the clergy. Therefore, you don't need to say anything because we're more important.
I feel like you're just using this as a way to get a power trip, but fine. Fine.
I have a question. If Umberlee has any influence here, which I assume she does, to what extent can we lie, and to what extent would she be able to see through it, or the people who work for her?
Umberlee, so deities, they work in different ways and they accept different followers. As far as I know, we will actually need to make an offering to Umberlee if we don't want to get on her bad side. Right. Otherwise, I don't think she really cares if you lie. She's a bit of a capricious goddess, I've heard. So.
Okay. Well, at the very least, would the temple people sense that I'm definitely aligned to something else?
Are they, unless they're a deity, probably not.
You don't know, Sparks, when you think about it, how this would interact with your...
You can wait outside if you're scared. Can babysit the untaken. He pats Sarazur's shoulder.
I guess if we're thinking about blending in, I don't think I'd be able to do that with armor on, and I don't necessarily want to take that off.
Okay, then how about you guys wait outside, and Astra and I will go in. We'll look really good in the robes, Astra.
And Sarazur and I, protection?
I do want to go inside, though. So perhaps we are together.
We took you both off a ship. You're both bartering safe passage.
Fine.
Or protecting us on our way to the temple.
That's also good. Sellswords.
Yes.
Perfect. Our story is 100% straight. Also jumps out of the taxi. Let's go.
You jump out of the taxi onto rolling ground.
Has it arrived, Emma?
Yeah. You guys pull around the turn and you see ahead of you the pathway kind of opens up slightly, and you see these staggered kind of like rocks that are almost like natural steps a little bit down close to the water side. Hewn from the rock, but then also partially man-made, built out. You see a small off-white kind of dome-like building with gold sort of sea snake and serpentine motifs. There is a fountain which obviously is fed by seawater and then spills out back into the ocean near the front of this sort of like this temple entrance. It is mostly in the cliffs and built into there, but there is like an opening, like an external area. It's the only place that doesn't feel as gentrified, even though it is as beautiful, as it's very quiet. It's out of the way, and looks much older than all the rest of the buildings on the other side of the.
Let's go
island.
get him.
Okay. Do you want to go to the loo?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's ride. So you guys arrive at the temple. The carriage drops you off, and you can start making your way down to the coast. As you go, who has the highest insight, passive insight of you guys?
Mine is
17.
Hold on. Also 17.
Okay. Ulster and Sleer, you notice that Sarazur, seeing how excited you guys got about the prospect of getting disguises, looks a little bit like exasperated, but not like serious. He's like, and he just says, as you guys are going, he says, before we get too entrenched in our fake identities that are probably 100% necessary as we go further in on our quest against, the Apraean political system and whatnot. Just want us to be clear that Danuelle is being held with an ally, as far as I'm aware.
Yes, but this would be more fun.
And who is this ally that we should be aware of?
Moreau Sinclair.
Oh, the writer. Oh.
Do you see why it's funny now?
Yeah. Also flashes forward to the many, many smut novels that Danuelle writes about him.
She's on the Sinclair retreat. It's a writer's retreat, guys.
I look, it comes over Ulster's face and he's like, no, that hasn't happened yet. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Does he say that out loud?
No, he has a moment where he's like, let's go.
Okay, you guys head forwards. As you get past a certain point, you see like the steps get more laden with water. There are more natural rock pools forming, barnacles and crabs and other sea life cling.
Ulster gets excited.
Yeah, a crab climbs on your foot, Ulster. Sparks.
Crabs are the perfect final form. He holds it up.
Sparks, there is a little crab climbing on your shoulder. Astro, there is one clinging to your skirt. And you guys then make your way down and then back up a set of steps to the entrance of the temple. And when you reach the entrance, a young woman approaches you. She looks to be about 30. She has long, glossy black hair, black skin, bright kind of eyes that are narrow and just elegant looking. And she has gold paint just on the top of her lip here and in the corners of her eyes. And it just fades out like a shimmering bright blue, like iridescent almost, which contrasts with her dark brown eyes. and she just looks at you, and she's wearing what I can only describe as a beautiful yet slutty, slinky, sexy robe with like a deep V all the way down below the belly button to just before an inappropriate area, to all the way up the thighs, cupping the hips, and it's a look. It's a look. She's covered in these like chains that look like they have barnacles almost growing off them, a little bit of coral erosion, and the fabric seems to be made out of scales or some kind of mesh. Wow. And she approaches you and she says, "Who goes there? Who approaches this place?" And I don't sense the Wave Mother's blessing.
It also looks at Astra. Just a couple of untaken acolytes. They've come to pay our respects.
The four of you? Untaken acolytes? It's quite a few.
Not those two, just us. They were with us on the ship.
So you escaped?
We were not granted her blessing of drowning.
A good answer. I may have sent you back to her myself if you'd answered otherwise. Perhaps you have a little bit of the sea bitch in you anyway.
Also like, thanks, Dad, for the religion lessons.
Can't believe we have to teach you that.
I would welcome you all in, but unfortunately our doors are closed to outsiders. You'd have better luck in the town, as pompous as it is.
What do you mean, pompous? We've never been here. Clearly our robes are not as exquisite as yours.
This, it's just part of my everyday wear. I've got 12 in different colours. She says nothing. Pompous. Perhaps not quite the right word. To build such luxury on the oceans is to tempt my mother's wrath.
But bit arrogant, perhaps.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And
surely they donate extravagantly to forego her wrath.
They do. She motions down at her clothing. But nonetheless, my sisters and I used to worship in the pools on their side, but alas, no more. Does not bother me too much. The sea will reclaim everything eventually. I only need to wait. And she brushes her hair back, revealing long pointed ears, and she says, "And I have plenty of time."
Yes, Ulster. And he like nudges Astrid, like, "Yes, we get it." that was very funny.
Mm-hmm. Sarazur seems to grimace at the insinuation that she has plenty of time. Perhaps a hint of backstory there, but nonetheless, she says, "As agreeable as you all are, it still remains that we're closed to outsiders. You see too much. We have lost too much in recent times."
Lost?
She looks away. Some sisters, not taken by the sea as they should have been, but disappeared.
On the island?
On the island.
He looks at Astra, so if Astra ever wants to like speak before him, he will allow that. Just so you know.
Astra's comfortable letting Ulster take the lead.
We could look into this for you. I mean, we are searching for ways to further serve the Wave Mother.
Interesting. Well, matters not. But if you were interested in helping out, perhaps I could grant you a little of her blessing in return.
That would be most reasonable and kind.
Young women are at risk here. Oops. Sarazur says no, doesn't. Young women are at risk here. It was only recently that my daughter, Nissa, disappeared.
Oh, my condolences. I'm sure if we helped you look into this, we could perhaps find the reasons behind that.
She is old enough to look after herself.
Okay.
But yes, I think she went away from the ocean's edge and was swallowed up by the land.
Land can be just as cruel.
More so.
Well, of course, we're happy to look into that for you. Also, look them up and down. We didn't bring any of our vestments, or we would have presented ourselves much more nicely.
Appropriately.
Yes.
Make a persuasion check. And just also, because I don't think you guys have... He is making the main roll.
14 plus. 15 to 17.
I certainly have some things in your sizes, but first I want to make sure you are worthy of ascending to her.
Don't you mean descending?
She smiles. Perhaps I do. Show me some proof of your blessing, and I will give you what you request.
Can we roll back on our nice religion checks what she might mean?
Yes, of course. A unbelief-based piece of proof, so something to do with the water.
Yes.
Something.
Is there a patch of water nearby?
There is ocean nearby.
Right. Also, with his ring on, we'll take a deep breath and then step out, activating his ring onto the surface of the water.
Okay. You walk a few paces around, perform a little ice skating jump.
Whee!
And she says, interesting. I just need, for the sakes of this, the DC is very low to you to make a deception check or a performance check, depending on what you think is more likely.
He's not great at either. Sorry, deception or performance?
Yep.
It's +0 to both, so it's a flat 15.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. You're already kind of convinced her. She just wanted a little more proof. Astra, what do you do?
I think Astra will cast Druidcraft to essentially tell the weather as a sign of something that would be handy aboard a sea vessel.
Okay, so what does that look like?
So the kind of like shimmering starlight shifts into actually like water. So it's more like the stars reflecting from a pond.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it goes up to form basically a mirror of like what the day's weather will be.
Okay.
For like the next 24 hours, essentially. It'll like kind of run through.
She smiles at both of you and says, very good start. I'm impressed. To both of you. She then adds, Wait here. I'll return with what you need. After a moment, she comes out with one robe in... Sorry?
2, right?
Wait. One robe in like a silvery, pale blue almost kind of colour, and another robe in a dark midnight blue, slightly hinted with purple, perfectly suiting each of you. And she does also bring, hang on, she brings something for you, too, Sparks. She brings a sword, and she says, since so many of our acolytes have, well, been unable to practice their rituals, this has gone a bit dusty, but here. And she passes you a long, thin, but mighty sort of silver sword. This is a great sword.
Do we just take the Baldur's Gate?
Yes, you do.
Info?
Yeah.
I'm going to put that in there.
Sparks. This is called Water's Edge.
Water's Edge.
She says, the name of the blade is Water's Edge. It has a few small... It has a few small features which might help you. Should you ever be in the Mother's domain. And that's all right.
Is this to use for a brief period of time and then return?
That depends on how well you do.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You are sure that this is going to do something. You would need to focus to make sure you can figure out what that is.
I'm creating a custom item for the Wave Mother's Robe.
Oh, fine. What does the Wave Mother's... Before we say it's exactly the same as Baldur's Gate 1, I actually don't know what the Wave Mother Robe does.
It's not, like, overpowered. It's, So, you have resistance to fire and cold damage. If you are standing in a watery surface at the start of your turn, you can heal 1 to 4 hit points. And you get the Create or Destroy Water spell. And it's really sexy.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's really sexy, guys.
It's very true. For the the Water's Edge. You can use this. Basically, it's got 3 charges. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You'll need to write this down because it is a custom item, and I can send this to you later. Okay. You can use 1 charge to change the damage type from slashing to cold by changing the sword into a blade made of water itself.
This robe is just so sexy. I'm going to send an art of Astarion in it to the chat.
Yeah. Then the other 2 thing, you can do that. Oh wow, is that an actual... I thought you meant like a screen grab. I want to see the art. Hot.
Wow.
Wow.
You can use 2 charges to cast water breathing.
Very cool.
Okay. And you can cast... Right. You can cast... you can spend 3 charges to do this, but this is a very particular thing. I know it sounds a little bit OP, but it's only on a critical hit. So,
Okay.
on a critical hit, you can roll a d20, okay? And if you roll a number that I know, you have a 1 in 20 chance of summoning a water elemental. Now that could be really useful, or it could be really annoying, and you could just have a water elemental.
Wow. Okay.
So you can essentially cast a spell once and change the damage type once, or you could change the damage type 3 times.
Right, and that's so you could go slashing to cold with another charge. You can go cold to slashing.
It automatically reverts after 1 hit.
After 1 hit. Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. If I made 2 attacks in...
That's fine. Oh, sorry. After 1 round.
After one round. That's cool. Thank you.
Okay. That's okay, baby.
One of my Christmas presents to Emma was lost in the post.
Oh.
But they're sending a replacement, so we'll see.
I love you, baby.
I love you.
Hopefully that doesn't get lost.
Yeah.
And arrives in time.
Where was it coming from?
Northern Ireland.
Oh. I'm sorry, my love.
It's okay.
Okay. So, with these items in hand...
Also, immediately find somewhere to change.
There is obviously one more thing, because Sarazur was not forgotten.
Oh my god, does Sarazur get one?
She says...
I just want to...
Stop! Shh. She just says, I believe you could offer more to Umberlee in different fashions. Sarazur is presented with a kind of turquoise, almost green wave mother robe. That's fine.
Also looks at it and looks at Sarazur. You look great.
Sarazur looks aghast.
Let's go get changed.
Absolutely not.
Come on.
I'm not wearing this dress.
It's not a dress. Also, what would be wrong if it was a dress?
Nothing. I just don't feel comfortable with my bits hanging out.
Your bits won't be hanging out. She's obviously picked the right size for you.
He holds it up and it's very small.
I'll help you. Come on.
No.
Sarazur, it'll be fine. It'll be very useful.
Fine.
Also, pull Sarazur off to put it on.
Fit!
Phrasing.
Right. I will help Sarazur get his robe on.
I know this isn't a credit card, but...
and leave Astra to privacy to put her own on.
You guys emerge looking beautiful.
Ta-da!
If you would like a cloak which is non-magical in the same fabric to match Sparks, you may have a non-magical cloak in the same fabric, just so you look like part of the team.
Fabulous.
She would gladly accept that. Yes.
Sure. Okay, so
Sarazur fill in his room.
Right, guys. You know what? There comes a time.
I'm gonna find a picture of Halcyon in the room, and that's what he looks like.
Oh, Halcyon in the robe. It's a crime that you're not allowed more than one.
I know. I'd love to put my whole party in it.
All at once.
Yeah. Surely someone... Yeah, here we go. Someone has done it. This picture isn't as good, but I can get a... Why is that so blurry? You guys will get an idea, but I'm just going to see if there's any better one. There isn't. Right. I'm sorry, guys. It's blurry, but you'll get an idea of what Sarazur will look like in it.
Bless me.
Bless you.
Bless you.
And he looks good.
Oh, my. Fictional men.
Wow.
Also, it's like, yeah, suits you. It's very nice. Sarazur, you should wear these more often.
You're odd.
What? I was complimenting you.
Yes, you're odd.
You don't like being complimented.
No. Who likes being complimented? Moran.
Would you rather I say nasty things to you? Didn't know you were into that. Are you okay?
Let's just go back to the others. I'm just staring at the Astarian Wave Mother art. Look at my... It's just on here. I've just been looking at it this whole time.
Laura's going to be pissed off we didn't get them one.
Loran can have the one that Sarazur doesn't want.
Yeah, the hand-me-down.
It oh my god, it's so right for him. It magically shrinks to his size. Okay. And the woman says, if you are willing to look for my daughter, then please do. I had hoped she would come home of her own volition by now, or the Wave Mother would have sent her to me, but I fear the worst. I cannot leave my post. I've not yet received permission.
We will keep an eye out, or several, because we are more than one person.
If I may ask, do you know of anything that instigated her no longer being here? Like, do you suspect someone's taken her or influenced her?
Could have been a voluntary disappearance, sure, but I don't know about that.
Oh, did you guys have a fight? Bad relationship?
One way or the other. If you can bring her home.
Got an allergy spot coming up.
Everyone, I sent a video of Halcyon in the Wave Mother's robe to the chat. Just so
Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh my god.
Look at us, all little sluts.
Can I just say that All-Star is living the dream? He has Astarian and Halcyon as his boyfriends.
Lincoln's also going to have this.
But isn't that just like peak choice of fictional men?
Yeah.
I think.
I love that the peasants in the background just look so drab and you guys look like gods.
Strolling into Baldur's Gate like, this is fashion, sweetie. No, like, we're refugees and we're starving.
Fashion, 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 fashion. Oh my god, the pink Wave Mother's robe.
Cool.
Everything's
The girls had a black and red one.
That's what Lincoln will probably do.
All-Star has the blue one.
Yeah. Oh, goodness me. Too beautiful. Right. You guys say goodbye to the daughter of Umberly, whose name you did not get. But that's
Wait,
fine.
what's your name?
Cassandra.
Lysandra.
And the daughter's name is
Nissa.
Nissa or Nissa?
Nissa. Wait, isn't that from Akatar?
Yes, but it's fine.
That's fine, yeah, that's fine. It was in the book.
Why have I got allergy coming on? I get these red spots whenever the cats touch me. As you can see.
I mean, I can't, but with your good camera, you're probably seeing it yourself. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, All-Star is delighted with the Wave Mother's robe. Specifically that he gets to wear one, but also that he gets to look at Sarazur in one.
Sarazur is holding the back near his bum, like making sure it doesn't flap in the wind.
Astra seems very comfortable in it.
It's like, I wish I could have worn leggings underneath it.
Would you like, my clothes would not fit you.
No, I'd put one leg in them and rip everything.
Maybe Sparks, do you have a spare pair of leggings or
Jodhpurs.
or shorts or anything?
Board shorts and a
rashi.
board shorts and a rashi.
if she borrowed some board shorts recently, no, she
Bluey always has board shorts and a rashie.
Look, if that's allowed, then I would love.
Yeah, that should always be in Bluey's starting equipment.
So yes, she would offer the board shorts.
Now his thighs are so thick that the board shorts cling to them.
He's gonna get such bad chafing.
Excuse me, who's to say Bluey's thighs aren't thick? It's just
that's so true.
Well,
Bluey, your thighs are so thick. Your rashies, no, your board shorts
are giving you a rashie.
I'm giving you a rashie.
It's very funny.
Also, only looks slightly disappointed when Sarazur puts them on.
It's like they cling.
I can't wait to see them around. They are the best item of clothing ever.
Oh, Sarazur just goes, oh. Can I have some more of the tea if there's any in there?
I don't think there is much, but
a little bit of. Thank you. You guys head back, and you've come in such a way that you can find a steep path, but a path nonetheless.
Danuelle's gonna lose her mind.
Yeah, a path nonetheless that leads up to the sort of upper levels of the island, and the downside of this is that obviously you are climbing and it's quite steep, especially Ulster. It's heavy on your lungs.
Guys, can someone carry me?
Glad you're not wearing the.
Ulster kind of collapses forward.
Oh, yes.
He holds up his hands. He looks a bit pathetic.
Bluey gives you uppies.
You notice, Sparks, that his breathing does not sound good.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the pain light off tomorrow.
Is this usual or no?
It gets exacerbated.
Right. I'm just wondering
Let's
whether
hope we're not running any marathons.
is there a what is the thing I'm after? I was thinking of detecting. Can I cast detect? Maybe actually she'd ask first. Can I cast something to detect disease on you?
I mean, you can just ask. It's the painite. I was born not very well, and I think it makes it quite a bit worse. So,
Sarazur looks back.
Can one of us take it off?
No, because if I take it off, I've worn it for so long that it affects me less than it would affect any of you. So when we get back, I promise I will take it off. But I don't want to risk Danuelle during this mission.
Is it a possibility that we can stow it away and therefore it's
No,
not
I don't. It has to be with someone. We can't risk it getting into anyone else's hands. It's not even safe in a pocket dimension, so even if Loran was here, I wouldn't give it to him.
Right.
Sorry to be firm. It's okay, as long as we're not running too much or running. It's fine.
Sarazur says, things like that aren't good for you. They'll hurt you in ways you can't even know.
I know it's not good for me. I'm not claiming it's good for me, but it has to hurt someone. And right now, it's going to hurt me. And tomorrow we can figure out what to do with it.
I don't like the way you do things sometimes, Ulster.
I understand.
That's not a good answer.
What do you want me to say? Oh yes, sure, here you go, take it off me. You don't even know what it would do to you. Or you.
It's a reason I didn't offer.
He points at everyone when he says that.
I don't know what it would do to me. There's a reason I did not offer, Ulster.
Well,
I trust your judgment for now, but I do not think it's a good judgment forever.
Why do you... He kind of shuffles more against Bluey's chest and doesn't seem to want to engage with argument with Sarazur.
Sarazur doesn't read the context clues and says, "Why do I criticize you? Why do I argue? What do you want to say, Austin?"
I don't want to argue with you whilst we're trying to save someone. I know you have issues with how I do things, but right now, we're trying to get to your ward. So don't worry.
He stops and says, "Actually, no, this is a good time. Because someone I care about's life
This will not...
is in our hands."
This is a good thing then, that it's on me.
No.
It is. Trust me. If it was on anyone else, it would be far more uncontrollable.
Allstar.
It won't endanger her at all.
I don't think any of you trust my experience when it comes to these things. I'm not a great mage. There's no divine curse upon me or deity watching me. I have no fate or purpose. But I don't need one. I have experience. Okay?
And I trust your word. I will take it off tomorrow. I'm not insisting that I cling to it.
And I'm not asking you to take it off now.
Then what are you asking?
I'm asking you to consider a better long-term solution than taking it off and putting it back on. Because what are you going to do in the gauntlet? Do you think they're just going to allow you to run amok with that?
Well, most people don't even know what it is.
Then let me ask you a different way. Do they think that they're going to allow you to play to your strengths? They will deliberately find ways to undermine you, make you run, make you breathe when your breaths are short and your lungs are collapsing. I'm not... Both of you seemed to take this as criticism. He looks at you, Astra. When I try and give you strategy, advice, it's not criticism.
Astra seems
It's
confused.
Advice. What did you say, Astra?
Astra seems confused.
He's just going off of what we've been saying this whole time about what he said to you and the misunderstanding he's been reading from it.
Okay, I appreciate your knowledge. Right now we don't have another solution, but we are searching for one. Sometimes you don't have access to all the answers.
I'm not asking you to have access to all the answers. I'm asking you to show commitment to not putting yourself in danger.
I have commitment to that, but sometimes it's the only option.
No, it's never the only option, Austin. There is always another way. There is always another way than turning yourself into a shield for other people.
I feel like you're being very hypocritical.
I don't have people who care for me, like you clearly have, who need you around. So, putting yourselves in danger is one thing, putting myself in danger is another. I am on a different shelf. It doesn't matter, I'm replaceable.
That is not how it works. My life is worth as much as yours, as much as anyone on this island. But you and I have strength to shield people. And sometimes we can make the decision not to do that. But when we do, it's not always the bad choice. I am fine after what happened with the child. I'm not fine now with the pain light, but I'm going to figure out a solution for that.
I just wish you'd see that what happened with the child was not the best solution.
Well, sometimes
it was an unnecessary risk.
This is not all a calculated problem, Sarazur, that we're being graded on. We're just doing what we think in the moment is best. That's the best we can do. And we learn from those mistakes, and maybe next time I'd make a different choice.
Have you learned from what I said?
But
Yes.
I'm not always putting myself at risk. And Astra, thank you.
He looks at you, Astra, skeptically. Detaching yourself entirely is not what I suggested in the slightest.
She noticed that I was upset, and she responded in kind. Just because we're taking your words in different ways and responding to them in ways you haven't experienced. We're fallible, but Sarazur, so are you, and we can discuss this together.
I'm aware that I am a hypocrite. I know. I can list my flaws aplenty. I know now, even in this moment, I'm falling victim to them. And I'm sorry, okay? I judged you all harshly. I have issues reconciling with my family, and I get angry and upset. I don't value my own life. But most people only get 80 years at best. It's not fair for me to have as much as I have. It's different. And I may be a good swords person. I may have experience and history. But I will never, ever put myself on such a high pedestal to say that I am not replaceable. That is just a fact. And he looks over at you, Sparks. You're proof that the generation that's coming, it will outpace me. And I've made peace with that. That is fine. The people that I've loved have already moved on. The people who need me now only need me out of convenience. I will reunite Danuelle with her mother, and she will have someone to look after her, like I can't commit to. Nakia, he's not my blood family. He's family I chose, but he has relatives out there who I have kept him from.
Can I get down from Sparks' arms and walk towards Sarazur as he's talking?
Yeah.
I think
And
what's funny is I
clearly
think that Astra and Ulster might have the same idea.
And I am clearly not wanted amongst your group. And that's fine. I don't want to be wanted. I just want to make sure that I leave as much of what I've learnt with you all as possible. Because if you all love Loran, then he needs you all alive.
Okay.
Astra's going to interrupt him at that point because she was going to give him a hug.
I was also going to say Ulster was going to pull Sarazur in for a hug.
He just goes, "What are you doing?"
And Sparks to hug him.
Sarazur, the way you were talking about being replaceable, it made it sound like you had no...
You got this. He's looking at you very intently.
No worth. Even when you just then said your deep care and commitment to several young people and their lives and wanting the best for them, and even if the new crop can outpace you in some ways, it's hard seeing people hurt themselves for others, glancing at Allstare. But she also says, but it's similarly hard to see someone not value themselves as they should. I think she would give a pat to his shoulder.
The two half elves hugging him, and Blue just like, stupid Sarazur.
Why are you all so familiar? But he doesn't push you off.
Also kind of looks up at him.
I think when he says that, Astra just lets go.
Also doesn't.
He says it more as like a resigned rather than like a stop this, if that helps.
Sarazur, let's talk. Let's talk more when we get back. I hear you. And I think Sparks was on the right path there. But he kind of holds up a hand for Sarazur to shake. We are your team now, and we care about you being here. And we care about helping Danuelle.
Sarazur just sighs and says,
No, if you're going to complain, he puts
I'm not going to
Sarazur's
complain.
lips.
I'm not going to complain.
Okay.
Thank you for your lovely words. Look. Let us focus on the mission. And he says, the advice that I meant to give, however it came across, he says to you specifically, Seer. These emotions are helpful. And I am glad that we see a bit more of each other now. But for the sakes of this mission, I choose to be logical, and I will accept your help. And we can deal with this at an appropriate time and an appropriate place.
As Sarazur says this, he would just feel a prickle.
No more cacti, please!
In his hair, and also just goes, stubborn donkey. He keeps walking.
Okay. Guys, I know that you all wanted to meet Danuelle in this session. I do think this is a good little place to stop it. If that's all right with you all.
Yeah, that sounds cute.
Do my dice I hope that you all enjoyed Sarazur in the Wave Mother robe and all that jazz.
You couldn't. He's such a stubborn old man. Also, like
his hair is up in like a low ponytail, right?
Yeah.
Just a tiny cactus goes. Bloop.
You pull it out.
Yow.
All right.
Well, gang.
Thank you, guys.
Until potentially next year. There is a 5-ish day window when Lee and I